Hello. Why am I so quiet? Hold up. Hi. How are we doing? Hello. Rah. Hey Nico. Hey Yippee Moon. Lavi. Slushy. Regal. George. Quicks. Glacio. Harden. Hello. Hello. It's time for the Hunger Games! Here, I'm putting on a different song. Jolly be upon ye. Happy holidays. It be time for war. Here, let me switch things here. No, wrong one. There we go. Move you guys up a little. Don't worry about it, Quicks. Hello, hello. Alrighty. What is this working? Okay, it is. I forgot about the delay. The delay is different on YouTube than Twitch. I'm not British. Let's go, Victoria. Alright! It's time for the Hunger Games! This is the best I can do on showing everyone without cutting anything out. So, not enough people did intros, so I know some people did the 2 sentence intros they're supposed to do. Not too many people did. Why is the music so loud? Music's so loud! Let me... something more interesting on. There we go! There's one. Hi, Rio. Alright, not enough people made an intro card, so I decided not to use their intro card. I'm just gonna introduce them. This is Neek0 the reindeer. Wait, can I like zoom in? Yeah! I'm a genius. Oh, no, I'm not a genius. Now I'm a genius. We have Neek0 the reindeer. A little Eevee guy ready for war. We have Ema, Hizui, and Zoroark. I believe in them. They're dressed as a little elf. It's adorable. We have Cade. He looks very happy to be here. He looks very happy. Just look at him. That's the face of happiness right there. Bentrix, the Cyndaquil. He has a little Christmas bandana. I love it. I love it. So yeah, District 1, Neek0 the reindeer and Ema. District 2, Cade and Bentrix. District 3, we got Felix and Countess. They're looking great. Countess went with a whole Christmas tree for their hat. I like it. And going back over here, we have District 4. I wasn't sure the name of the character, so I just put Prism. So we got Prism and Lirna for District 4. I love the little scarf. District 5, we have Tio and Sir Waddlesworth. I love the little side duck fireplace. And then he has... Tio looks like he's ready for war. Tio looks like he's ready for war! Then we have District 6. Roxanne and Mewduka, who's definitely a Meowstic and is nothing else. This is the greatest team up you've ever seen before. Now for District 7, we have Experios and Alexios, traditional art pals. Yeah, he is in prison for the Tetris, isn't it? So welcome. I like how long Then for District 8, Lumio and Hinai? Yeah. District 9, we have Jack and Victoria, the second traditional art team. Victoria's ready to avenge the Silvera Kingdom, and then Jack, he has a cool sword. Now for District 10, we have your local doctor turn into Santa Claus Mundur Clap. And then we have Alicia with the candy cane sword ready for war. District 11, we have we have Tushiko and Moon, which I love the little bread, little gingerbread. And finally, District 12. We have Shot and Tanya, our local little Katniss, and our Jingle Bell Doo-Wot. Let's go! We're going to war! Oh, it's the music changed too. As the tributes stand on the podiums, oh gosh, here, I need to pull out my... I need to bring up Streamlabs. This is too peaceful. This is too peaceful. No, this is... Where is the... Sky Tower! Here we go. As the tribute stand on the podiums, a horn sounds. Moon runs away from the cornucopia. Duke and Elise... What if I do this? What if... No, this is fine. Duke and Alicia form a brief truce to escape the center safely. Tanya throws a stun seed at Victoria and uses the opening to grab supplies before retreating. Get wrecked. Ema runs away from the cornucopia. Hinai snatches several orange berries before fleeing the chaos. Smart, smart. Shot runs away from the cornucopia. Bentrix runs away from the cornucopia. Sir Rattlesworth runs away from the Okay, they're just running away. Riku the reindeer secures a bundle of dried fish and disappears into the surrounding terrain. Smart, smart. Alexia and Lumio truce. Oh no, poor Jack. Poor Jack. Jack picks up a pizza pie and drops it halfway through their escape. That's an F right there. Oh, Teshuko absorbs Experial's swing and answers with a sharp elbow strike that knocks Experials into cascading pixels. Experials is the first one out. Felix secures a citrus berry and avoids further confrontation. Prism runs away, Lerna runs away, Caltus runs away. Tio gathers a loose bag of seeds before running off. Clep gets too eager and charges off the platform, early flipping out of existence. Clep, no! You didn't even make it out of the first area, Clep. You went off too soon. Cade runs away from the cornucopia. Alright, day one. Tio spots Jack nearby and chooses to stay hidden. Tanya quickly tracks distant movements before deciding not to engage Clap. Bentrick quietly follows Mew Duca as they hike up a cliffside to enjoy the view before kicking them off from behind, sending them over the edge. Bentrix! That's so rude! Muduka just wanted to enjoy the view. Ema discovers Tashiko's shelter and waits inside. When Tashiko returns, Ema leaps out and slashes them with a sword. Oh my gosh! Leona begins setting up shelter only to hear a support beam crack before it collapses on top of them. Leona, you need to work on your shelter building abilities. That's tough. That's tough. Caltus relocates their shelter after realizing it is too exposed. Caltus, do better. Riku the reindeer casually approaches Felix, and the two spend some time talking before parting ways. That is surprisingly in character. Shark quietly tracks distant movements before deciding not to engage. Alexia eats a small meal and regains some energy. Nice. Moon finds a quiet meadow and carefully organizes their supplies. Lumio attempts to cook a meal, forcing them to flee their camp as it burns to the ground. Bro, these guys suck at survival stuff. Hemo prepares an ambush that never happens and eventually wanders off embarrassed. You did your best. Oh gosh. Alicia and Roxanne confront Cade and Victoria. After a chaotic fight, Alicia and Roxanne overpower their opponents, leaving them both. Cade and Victoria are down. They're gone. Prism finds a quiet meadow and carefully organizes their supplies. They're stuck in ice. How are they doing this? Sir Waddlesworth received alchemical supplies from the intern. Why is the intern intervening in the Hunger Games? 7 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. F in the chat for Experios, Klep, Muduka, Tashiko, Lyrna, Cade, and Victoria. So far, Ema has 1 kill. Roxanne has 2 kills. Alicia has 2 kills. And Tashiko has 1. Proceed. Okay, no. Tio reluctantly cuddles up to Felix and Alicia for warmth. Aw. Sir Waddlesworth. Oh, we gotta switch to more calm music now. Let's do, here we go. No, that's not chill enough. Let's do this one. There, that works. 7 on day 1. I know, right? Sir Waddlesworth accidentally triggers a totter orb, yelling and surprises berry flies everywhere and splatter across them. Bro. Ema invites Countess inside their shelter to enjoy a quiet meal before bed. Oh, that's nice. Bentrix laughs quietly as they play wrestle with Alexios. Look at them go. Sean and Hanai ambush Lumio while they eat, only for Lumio to unleash a blinding constellation and cut both attackers down. What a gamer. Prism shares stories of their life with Jack, Moon, and Roxanne around a small fire. Riku the reindeer practices their astromancy beneath the night sky. Tanya wanders the shoreline collecting seashells beneath the moonlight. That does sound like Sir Waddlesworth. Alright, we're switching to music. Temporal Tower. Proceed. Day 2. Prism sits alone, watching the sky and listens to the distant sounds of the arena. Tanya attempts to cook a meal, forcing them to flee their camp as it burns to the— Guys, stop burning your camp down. Lumia sits alone, watching the sky. Okay. Ema attempts to cook— Guys, stop burning your camp! That's 3 people! That's 3 people that failed at cooking. It's not that hard. Alicia climbs to higher grounds to scout the surrounding area. Riku the reindeer sits alone watching the— Okay. Sir Rattlesworth sees an astromancy star map from the intern. Intern, stop it! You're giving him everything! Felix runs to Alexios. The two exchange a few berries before going their separate ways. Moon smiles proudly at their shelter before he collapses in front of them. You did your best, Moon. You did your best. Bentrix receives an astromancy star map from the intern. Intern, stop it! Countess runs into Teal. The two exchange a few berries before going their separate ways. Roxanne discovers Jack's shelter and waits inside. When Jack returns, Roxanne leaps out and slashes him with a sword. He doesn't even have hands. How you do this? Well, there goes Jack. Lost his pie and now his life. That's tough. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Shot, Hinai, and Jack. Y'all can. Alright, back to nighttime. Back to night. I should have had these on like standby. Let's do good night. There we go. Night 2. Tanya whimpers at the cold after failing to get a fire started. That's sad. Lumia whimpers at the cold. Guys, that's 2 for 2. Prism and Felix sneaks into Sir Waddleson's camp, steals their supplies, and snap a support beam, causing the shelter to collapse and destroy Sir Waddlesworth. No! It was the intern's favorite, so I'm not too sad, but no! Emma shouts into the night, demanding the intern release them from the game, only for Alicia nearby to fire an arrow and eliminate them. That's what you get for making too much noise. Roxanne curls up inside their shelter and tries to get some sleep. Countess laughs quietly as they play wrestle with Alexios. Aw. Rico the reindeer carves a small portrait of Moon in the bark of a tree. How nice. Bentrix whispers a quiet prayer to the birds before resting. Tio hums softly while carefully preparing healing tonics for tomorrow. Smart. We're just gonna turn on, let's do Dark Hill. Yeah. Sir Waddlesworth is gone. Day 3. Tio begins setting up a shelter only to hear a support beam crack before it collapses on top of them. Good job. Felix forages for berries and stores them for later. Tanya smiles proudly at their shelter before it collapses in front of them. You did your best. Caltus spends hours reinforcing their shelter only to realize they sealed themselves inside. Caltus, what you do? Why does everyone suck with their shelter? Roxanne attempts to befriend Alexios, but leaves unsure whether the feeling was mutual. Rico the reindeer counts their remaining supplies and decides to conserve. Smart. Bentrix spots Lumio nearby and chooses to stay hidden. This bro just keeps sneaking up on people. Prism stumbles upon a mystery dungeon and hesitates before choosing to venture inside. Good luck, champ. Moon attempts to cook a meal, forcing them to flee their camp as a Stop setting your camps on fire, guys! The arena's expensive. Alicia sits alone watching the sky and listens to the distant sounds of the arena. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Sir Battlesworth, Ema, and Tio. Rep. My lord, I think before the next round we send everyone to base building and cooking classes. True. Moon laughs quietly as they play wrestle with Lumio. Aw. Felix practices their astromancy beneath the sky. Careful, Felix. Roxanne invites Tanya to share a meal, only to poison their food, eliminating Tanya later that night. What a jerk! Riku the reindeer sneaks up on Bentrix while they asleep, but snaps a twig underfoot. Bentrix jolts awake and throws a knife with deadly accuracy. Riku's down. Reindeer dead. Meanwhile, Alexios laughs quietly as they play wrestle with Alicia. Caltus allows Prism to enter their shelter for the night. How are they moving in the ice? Just had to say something. It is the making of broke games. No. The cornucopia is replenished with food supplies, weapons, and memorials from the Tribute's family. It's the feast! Luma doesn't go, Caltus doesn't go, Prism doesn't go. Felix steals Roxanne's memoirs. Rude. Moon decides not to go. Bentrix and Alicia clash over a crate of supplies until Bentrix overwhelms Alicia and eliminates them. Oh no! Dude, Bentrix is killing everyone! Alexios activate a Totter Orb, only to be struck down moments later by a flying sword. Who uses a Totter Orb when there's swords nearby? No! Day 4. Moon quietly tracks distant movements before deciding not to engage. Prism gathers materials and begins assembling a new shelter. Caltus receives alchemical supplies from the intern. Hey, Caltus, you got alchemical stuff. Bentrix prepares an ambush that never happens and eventually wanders off embarrassed. Lol. Lumio casually tests a water source before filling their flask. Felix finds a quiet meadow and carefully organizes their supplies. Roxanne receives alchemical supplies from the intern. Tell the intern to stop giving people stuff. Four cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Tanya, Riku the reindeer, Alicia, Alexios. Felix scurries up inside their shelter and tries to get some sleep. Caltus carves a small portrait of Roxanne in the bark of a tree. Bentrix curls up inside their shelter and tries to get some sleep. Prism and Lumio quietly light incense over a makeshift altar to the birds. Moon wanders the shoreline collecting seashells beneath the moonlight. Aww, never forget. Anyways, time for... let's do Wiggly Tops Guild. Day 5! Lumio receives runecraft supplies from the intern. Felix cautiously approaches Bentrix and two spend some time talking before parting ways. Felix, careful, that guy's a cold-blooded murderer! Prism, Countess, and Moon surround Roxanne until Roxanne throws down a runic gem that floods the area with smoke, allowing Roxanne to win. Oh my gosh, the 1v3! Countess, Moon, and Prism are gone! LOL! How's everyone doing here? Benchik has 3 kills. Alicia had 3 kills, but they're dead. Roxanne with 7 kills! Bro! Night 5. Benchik shouts into the night, demanding the intern release them from the game, only for Felix nearby to fire an arrow and eliminate them. Felix, you learned to stand up for yourself. Roxanne snuggles up against their bag and finally drifts off for the night. Lumio climbs high into a tree to hide for the night, only for a branch to snap beneath them, sending them falling to their limit. You made it to the top 4, and you fell out of a tree. Bro. Felix challenges Roxanne to a duel of honor and pins them to the ground, only for Roxanne to wrench free and bring a hammer down. Felix, you were so close! And Roxanne's the winner! He did it! Deserved victory. Eliminated so many. All right, we're gonna do a few more runs. We're gonna do 2 more rounds. Rio, I'm gonna purposely ignore your messages. Good job, Rock Serpent. Man, Roxanne with 8 kills. Felix got second with 2 kills. Lumio got third with 2 kills before falling out of a tree. Bentrix got 3 kills. What a beast. What a beast. 8 kills. That's an... Alright, well, let's run it back. Alright, we're gonna run it back. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. Let Revenge Art come in. Alright, make sure not to jump off the podium too early this time. I need to see Sir Waddlesworth lock in and win. Proceed. Alright, let me change the music. As the tribute stand on the podium, the horn sounds. Cade grabs the sealed container. Prism runs away. Lumio grabs the treasure bag, immediately retreats. Benchik runs away, runs away. Time to get some orange berries. Ima and Mewduke form a brief truce. Klep runs away. Hey, Klep, you're alive this time! Roxanne and Riku the reindeer split supplies. Countess panics and retreats without anything. Shot gathers a loose bag. Victoria runs from Concorpia. Oh. Experience, Felix, Moon, and Player 4 share what they get. Bruh. Okay, no one's dead yet. Prism builds a simple lean-to and settles into rest briefly. Exo attempts to cook, burning their camp to the ground. Okay, the arson's begun. Ima approaches Roxanne, offering to travel together. Roxanne agrees before splashing out chemical tonic on them and fleeing. Roxanne starting his kills early. Oh my gosh. Go Player 4. Experios runs into Shot. The 2 exchange berries before going separate ways. Moon burns their camp down again. Tio quietly tracks down distant movements before deciding not to engage. Bentrick smiles proudly at their shelter before it collapses. Bruh. Jack spends hours reinforcing their shelter only to realize they sealed themselves inside. You're doing great. Klep runs to Cade. The 2 exchange a few berries. Lumio climbs to higher ground. Caltus quietly tracks movements before deciding not to engage. Same thing with Victoria. Riku and Hinai talk some before parting ways. Deshiko is mining supplies, decide to conserve them. Oh, guys, come on, do something! Guys, there's only one death! Roxanne has a kill! He used chemistry! Alright, Moon reluctantly cuddles up with Tio and Muduka for warmth. Cade carefully chips a piece of obsidian into a makeshift arrowhead using a nearby rock. Okay. Caltus curls inside the shelter and tries to get some sleep. Riku and the Prism hug each other to find comfort. That is so cold. He is ice! Experios climbs a large tree and spends the night observing the stars. Felix whispers a quiet prayer. Okay. Roxanne and Tashiko ambush Bentrix while they eat, only for Bentrix to unleash a blinding constellation and cut down both attackers. Roxanne is down! Bentrix is alive! Roxanne is down! It's anyone's game! Hina carves a small portrait of Sir Waddlesworth. Clep whimpers at the cold after failing to get a fire start. Sucker. Lumia goes against her bag. Tanya plays with Jack. Shot practices astromancy. Alicia challenges Victoria to a duel of honor beneath the stars, only for Victoria to defeat them in the quiet of the night. Victoria got a kill. Luna wanders to the edge of the arena and carelessly boops the electrified fence, eliminating themselves instantly. Luna, no! First you collapse the shelter on yourself and you touch the electric fence? What? Alright, day 2. Tanya relocates her shelter after realizing it's too exposed. Caltus fails an ambush and is embarrassed. Hinai attempts to befriend Riku the reindeer but leaves unsure. Pentrix cautiously approaches Felix and the two spend some time talking. Alexios discovers a mystery dungeon, decides it's too dangerous to enter right now. Fair. Victoria spends hours reinforcing their shelter, only realize they sealed themselves inside. Good job. Kate spots Prism nearby and chooses to stay hidden. Shot smiles proudly at their shelter before it collapses in front of them. Sucker. Oh no! Experios closes their eyes, tracing the constellations of Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno with absolute focus. Oh no. Madoka receives alchemic supplies from the intern. Clep is climbing to high ground. Moon runs to Teal, and then they exchange berries. Jack sits alone watching the sky. Oh no, Sir Rattlesworth, you too! Sir Rattlesworth closes their eye, tracing the constellations of Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno with absolute focus. No! Lumio smiles proudly at their shelter before it collapses in front of them. 6 cannon shots can be heard. Roxanne, Tashiko, Alicia, Leona, Experios, and Sir Waddlesworth. Rest in peace. The home games with the friends we made along the way. Not 2 nukes. Victoria and Prism sneak into Moon's camp and steals their supplies and snaps a support beam, causing the shelter to collapse and destroy Moon. Moon down. Hinai collects seashells. Alexios quietly fishes. Kate is fishing. Tanya snuggling with her bag. Bentrix is praying. Clep is fishing. Everyone's fishing. Why is everyone fishing? Guys, it's the Hunger Games. You're supposed to fight. You know, fight. It's a reference to the Exilium roleplay server where Quix's character Marcus traced all 3 constellations perfectly and it exploded them. Tio practices astromancy. Felix practices astromancy. Lumio hums softly while carefully preparing healing tonics. Practices their astromancy. I don't know Caltus liked astromancy. Shot gathers Orin and citrus berries. Meduca climbs a tree. Alright, day 3. Bentrick built a shelter. Alexiel winces at the smell of spoiled fish and then shrugs and eat it anyways. I'm sure that'll work out for them. Lumio spots Tanya nearby and chooses to stay hidden. Countess, Riku the reindeer, and Meduca surround Clep until Clep throws down a runic gem that floods the area with smoke, allowing Clep to win. Oh my gosh, Clep! Clep the redemption! Felix attempts to cook a meal, forcing them to flee Felix. I expected better from you. Knight forges for berries. Prim discovers Jack's shelter and waits inside. When Jack returns, Prism leaps out and slashes them with a sword. Victoria reinforces their shelter. Shot discovers the entrance to a mystery dungeon but doesn't enter. Tio runs into Cade, but they exchange some berries. So how was the spoiled fish for you, Alexios? I'm sure that was smart. You're doing great. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Moon, Alexios, Countess, Riku the reindeer, Meduca, and Jack. I don't know, man. He's just frozen eyes. Clep and Tanya hug each other to find comfort. That's adorable. If you look back, it's astromancy. Shot climbs a tree. Tio allows Lumio to enter. Henai reluctantly cuddles with Cade and Victoria for warmth. Prism practices their astromancy beneath his... Bentrix, no! Bentrix wanders to the edge of the arena and curiously boops the electrified fence, eliminating themselves instantly. Bro. There goes the Hippocratico. Alright, day 4. Lumio quietly tracks distant movements, doesn't engage. Prism goes to the mystery dungeon. Tio eats a small meal to gain some energy. Shot cautiously approaches Cade to spend some time talking before parting ways. Tanya reinforces their shelter, realize they're stuck. Felix closes their eyes, tracing the constellation of Mochis, Zeptos, and Articuno with absolute focus. Oh, and Victoria gathers loose materials and begins assembling a small shelter. Clef attempts to cook a meal, forcing them to flee their camp as it burns to the ground, bro. Oh! Pharaoh Neuverns! Arena event! The Pharaoh Neuverns have been released! Victoria voices Neuvern by hiding under... Wait, I need to change the music for this. Wait, let's do... There we go. Victoria voices Neuverns by hiding until the dangers pass. Heina voices Neuverns. Tanya voices Neuverns. Prism knocks Clep to the ground and leaves them for the Pharaoh Neuverns. Clep, no! Shot shoves Cade into the open air where the Pharaoh Neuvern descends upon them. Goodbye, Cade. Tio voiced Neuvern. Lumio voiced Neuvern. Rest in peace, Bentrix, Felix, Clep, and Cade. Redemption round over. Night 4. We're near the end. We're near the end. Tio climbs a large tree and spends the night observing the stars. Prism and Shot quietly light incense over a makeshift altar to the birds. Lumio starts a fire, attracting Hinai and Victoria. The three agree to truce for the night. Tanya sharpens their blade in silence. It's feast time. Tio doesn't go to the feast. Prism and Hinai clash over a crate of supplies until Prism overwhelms Hinai and eliminates them. Prism, I got this! And everyone else doesn't go because they're lame. Day 5. Tio smiles proudly at their shelter before it collapses in front of them. Lumio counts the remaining supplies and decides to conserve. Tanya approaches Shot before parting ways. Victoria forges for berries. Prism's shelter collapses. More Pharaoh Neuvers! The intern released them twice! The intern released them twice! 2 Neuverns! More Neuverns! Pharaoh Neuverns. Tio is overwhelmed by Pharaoh Neuverns. Lumio avoids them. Prism's overwhelmed! Prism's gone! Shot shoves Victoria into the open air where the Pharaoh Neuverns descends upon them. Tanya is carried off by her feral Neuver and it vanishes from sight. Oh no! 5 candid shots can be heard. Hinai, Tio, Prism, Victoria, and Tanya. Lumia wanders to the edge of the arena and curiously votes. The electric fence eliminates themselves. The winner is shot! Let's go! Tio, oh my god. Who had the most skills? Prism had the most with 4. Shot is the winner from District 12. What a gamer. Lumio gets second place. Lumio keeps throwing in the finale, man. Lumio made it to the top 3, and then now he made it to the top 2, and each time he eliminates himself. Lumio, Moon got 17th, that's tough. Victoria was 4th. Alright, one more go. Felix blowing himself up was not on my bingo card. Bruh. Alright, last round. This is our last round. Or I'm gonna throw my voice out. I really don't want to do that. Let's do it. Lock in, guys. Lock in. She was... Wait, I gotta do this, the top of the thing again. She was standing on the podiums. The horn sounds. Mood gathers a loose bag of seeds before running off. Prism runs away from the cornucopia. Kate, then they run away, run away. Hinai grabs a fancy display sword and runs. Hinai is a display sword. It's not actually sharp. It's not meant for the sword stuff. Lirna, I want you to not get yourself killed in the first few days, okay, Lirna? Lock in. Lock in. Alicia attempts to place a trap tile, but Riku the reindeer notices it in time and retreats before triggering it. Oh gosh. Shot detonates a blast scene nearby, causing both themselves and player 2 to scatter in opposite directions. I'm gonna have a talk with the intern for messing up some of these events. Bentrix and Klep form a brief truce to escape the center safely. Run away, run away, run away. No deaths? I don't think any deaths, no. Lumio Alexios lock blades with Tanya and Klep. When Tanya falls, Klep panics and detonates their remaining blast seeds. Oh my gosh, it's a 4 sweep. Oh. Well, Klep, you're one of the first dead again. I don't believe in you anymore, Klep. Tashiko counts the remaining supplies and decides to conserve. Shot discovers entrance to Mr. Dungeon, decides not to enter. Felix counts the remaining supplies. How are you already running low, dude? Maduka carefully sources supplies, only knock everything over moments later. Good job. Discovers that Mr. Dungeon doesn't go in. Ema builds a shelter. Hinai approaches Prism, offering to travel together. Prism agrees before splashing alchemical tonic onto them and fleeing. Alchemical warfare, bro! Bentrick sharpens the scavenger tool, preparing for future encounters. Smart. Jack receives runecraft from the intern. Intern, stop. Victoria's running out of supplies already. Sir Waddlesworth relocates their shelter after realizing it's too exposed. Roxanne sits alone. Countess reinforces their shelter. Yuna carefully stores their supplies, only knock everything over. Oh, cornered by Riku the reindeer, Experios, and Moon. Tio hastily traces an exclusive rune onto your runic gem as a final act of defiance. Oh my gosh. 9 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Lumio, Alexios, Tanya, Clip, Hinai, Tio, Riku the reindeer, Experios, and Moon. Oh no. Tashika curls up inside their shelter. Emma gathers Orin and Citrus. Roxanne shouts into the night, demanding the intern release them from the game, only for Sir Waddlesworth nearby to fire an arrow to eliminate them. Good job, Sir Waddlesworth. Victoria climbs a tree. Alicia practices astromancy. Shop makes a arrow ahead. Kate and Jack quietly light incense over a makeshift altar to the birds. Felix is fishing. Prism invites Cal to side their shelter and to enjoy a quiet meal. Ventrix helps Luna out of a pitfall trap, and two decide to share the shelter for the night. Luna, how did you fall in a pitfall trap? You almost got yourself eliminated. Muduka's cold, sucker. Day 2. Alright, take care, Gator. Victoria builds a simple shelter. Alicia reinforces their shelter. Luna cautiously tests a water source before filling their flask. Muduka spends hours reinforcing their shelter, only realize they kill themselves inside. Cade quietly tracks distant movements before not engaging. Ema cautiously approaches Felix, and two spend some time before parting ways. Sir Waddlesworth locked himself inside too. Jax is alone. Bentrix is an astromancy star map from the intern. Trot sits alone watching the sky, listening to distant sounds in the arena. Caltus runs through prison. The two exchange a few berries before going their separate ways. Shishiko stumbles to a mystery dungeon, goes inside. Rest in peace, Roxanne. Shop reluctantly cuddles with Cade and Shishiko. Felix carefully chips a piece of basset he's making arrows. Victoria and Ema praise the birds. Kaja sings songs with Prism, Alicia, and Lyrna to lift their spirits. How nice. Jack practices their astromancy beneath the night sky. Sir Bottlesworth whispers a quiet prayer to the birds before finding rest. Oh, what a peaceful night. No one died. They exchange a few berries. Alicia, Muduka, and Felix ambush Cade, only for Cade to unleash an astromancy flare that blinds them before cutting all three down. Oh my gosh, Cade with the 1v3! Sir Rattlesworth sits alone. Smells probably at their shelter. Jack cautiously tests some water. Bentrix works on his shelter. Ema climbs to higher ground. Lyrna eats a small meal. Prism eats a small meal. Victoria relocates their shelter. Rest in peace, Alicia, Muduka, and Felix. R.I.P. Is everyone hit? Tashiko sharpens their blade in silence. Luna helps shot out of a pitfall trap. Oh, returning the favor. Ema quietly fishes beneath the stars. Couch and Bentrix hug each other. Kesa goes against her bag. Victoria wanders to the edge of the arena, curiously boops the electrified fence, eliminating themselves. Oh my gosh, no! Sir Waddlesworth allows Jack into their shelter, only for Jack to eliminate them while they asleep! What was Sir Waddlesworth's crime? He allowed him into his home, gave him food, gave him warmth, and Jack killed him. Oh my gosh, no! And Prism's praying before sleeping. The fees! Cade grabs a weapon from the fees, only to be struck down by Prism from behind! Rip. Luna doesn't go, no one goes, no one goes. Tashiko and Ema work together to get more supplies. Jack arrows so much food into the bag before fleeing. Oh my gosh. Tashiko gathers some supplies. Bentrix smiles proudly at the shelter before it collapses in front of them. Okay. Countess lunges for supplies held by Prism, prompting shots to intervene, and together they overpower and eliminate Countess! Countess is down! Ema goes into a mystery dungeon. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Rest in peace, Victoria. Sir Waddlesworth, Cade, and Countess. R.I.P. Oh, we're in the endgame now. Ema prepares healing tonics. Shot and Luna quietly light incense over a makeshift altar to the birds. Shiko gathers orange citrus berry. Prism and Jack ambush Bentrix while they eat, only for Bentrix to unleash a blinding constellation and cut both attackers down. Jack deserved that! Ema gets that chemical supplies from the intern. Bentrix finds a quiet meadow and carefully organizes their supplies. Everyone seems fine. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Prism and Jack. Here, I need to change the music. We're getting the end game here. Chichiko challenges Luna to a duel of honor beneath the stars, only for Luna to defeat them in the quiet of the night. Luna, you can do this! Let's go, Luna! Benjic might shot asleep before a dying fire and strike silently eliminating them. Bentrix, you monster! Ima curls up inside their shelter and tries to get some sleep. Ima cautiously tests a water source before filling their flask. Benjic quietly tracks down distant movements before deciding not to engage. Luna sits alone watching the sky, listening to the distant sounds of the arena. Tashiko and shot from District 11, District 12 are down. Oh my gosh. Emma attempts to cook a meal for Bentrix and Luna, but the fire spirals out of control, eliminating Luna as the other flees. No! There's no way! Eva's bad cooking killed Luna! Eva, how bad are you at cooking? Bentrix discovers Ema's shelter and waits inside. When Ema returns, Bentrix leaps out and slashes them with a sword! 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Luna and Ema. And Bentrix from District 2 is the winner! Let's go! The Bentrix lock-in. What a gamer. The cooking can kill. Stop giving us napalm to cook. It's the intern's fault. He gave you the supplies. GG's. GG's. Alright, that was fun. That was fun. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and play it yourself... Here, I'm turning on some nicer music. If you guys want to play it yourself, I'm going to go ahead and link the link to it. Copy link address. I'm going to go ahead and link this in the events channel. And then I'm also going to go ahead and link it down here. So if you want to run it some more yourself, you can go ahead and do so. Some of the events are a little finicky, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. You guys got to stop setting your camps on fire. That's my only advice. So yeah, so we had our 3 winners: Roxanne, Bentrix, and shoot, who's the other winner? I'm so bad, I already forgot. Alright. That was it for me. Thank you for everyone who participated in the event. It was a lot of fun. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. So GG's, GG's. It was shot. Yeah, that's right, it was shot. Yeah, just thank you for everyone that participated. I hope you guys have a great rest of the year. I'm probably not going to post anything for the rest of the year. I'll be coming back. Next year in January. So there's more things to come. There's some stuff I've been working on, and yeah, that's probably going to be it for the channel for the year. So thank you all for coming by, and you guys have a happy holidays. Bye.